Yo, what's up, guys? So, is D4 still bad? And I wanted to kind of go find out for myself. For those of you who don't know, I've been playing the hell out of the First Ascendant for the past month or two, and I'm kind of feeling a little bit burned out and wanted to jump onto something new. And someone in chat told me or suggested that, why don't you try D4 out? The last time you tried D4 was like season one, and it was in a very kind of strange state. I also played it when it first came out. For those of you again who don't know, I'm a huge D3 fan. I've got thousands and thousands of hours in D3. And when D4 came out, I jumped straight on that, wanting it to be like D3, and it wasn't. And I was quite disappointed, but I did kind of enjoy my time on it. But ever since season one, to the end of season one, I stopped playing and jumped onto kind of like something new. And now, kind of coming back to it, there is a ton and ton of changes that are just so much better for the game, and is now kind of playing similar to kind of D3, and has the kind of the style and kind of deep and darkness of D2, like the blood and gore of like D2. So I think right now it's a really good kind of merge of those two games, because a few of my complaints when D4 came out was one, the aspects, and we just didn't have enough storage space to hold all of those aspects. Sorry, we didn't have enough storage space to hold all of the aspects. And two, there wasn't really too much to do in the game apart from the dungeons and Lilith, when, level 100 Lilith. And then third was the mob density. There just wasn't really anything to kill. You only had a few kind of mob packs in quite some like large dungeons that you could go and farm. The hell tides felt kind of lame. There wasn't too much there wasn't too much density. You just had like a minion over there, kill that guy, he drops a shard. Go over there, kill that guy, he drops a shard. And it didn't feel kind of good to play. But right now, the mob density has been tuned up a significant amount, to the point where you're actually surrounded by so much stuff, and it doesn't lag either. I mean, that might just be my machine. It might lag for some other people who have like kind of a lesser machines, or like lesser specs or whatever. But I tend to take my games and I play them on normal anyway, like bring the graphics down all the way to medium, just because I prefer performance just in games anyway. Especially, I come from playing Rust. You need maximum performance in that game. So I play a lot of my games on like lower quality just because I want performance. And when you're surrounded by a load of minions and you're blowing up, and their body parts are going everywhere and like blood's going everywhere and explosions and stuff like that, it still feels really clean to play. And the when I was saying about the mob density, you're surrounded by mobs. You can get the entire kind of like room of mobs, or like go into the Helltide and you get this entire area of mobs, and they will like kind of like rush onto you, and you actually are surrounded to the point where you can't even see yourself, and you just blow them all up. And that's kind of exactly what I wanted from the game originally when I first kind of jumped in. And that kind of has that feeling of kind of being surrounded in D3. I'd even say it's kind of been tuned up from D3. There is a ton like of mob density right now, and I love it. I love just blowing up those groups of mobs, and I love collecting the loot that they drop. And that's another thing, is that the aspects and the loot and all these kinds of things, they've been put onto the occultist. So now the occultist collects all that stuff. You don't have to put it into your chest like you did have to do in like season one. I don't know when they brought that out, but that is a fantastic change. You go to the cultist, he has a list of these aspects, and you put them on your gear, and now it just stays on your gear and it stays on the occultist as well. So that's fantastic as well. I don't have to like, shove and like ram all of these aspects that are on gear into my chests, and now I have no space for like any other loot. Well, I'm collecting around the world, like bows and armor, and like like other kind of pieces that I want to keep. And it's just in a really good place. You also have the blacksmith that can like retune all of your gear, that can put like, plus 150% extra crit damage on it, give you some health, all these kinds of things. You've got that kind of re-rolling system in the game. I don't know where any of this came into it, but this is kind of new for me as I've jumped into the new season. And it's just where I wanted it to be, when it first came out. And I guess like that's kind of like wishing quite highly. I mean, is that just wishing quite highly of Blizzard, or just wishing quite highly from like a game that's just first come out? Like when D3 came out, when D4 came out, sorry, I was hoping it was going to, like, they learned the lessons from D3 and then they brought them over to D4 with kind of the style of D2. that's kind of what I was hoping off of the bat, but it felt quite empty when they did bring out the game. But it's nice to see kind of like a year later that the game is in, you know, a more of a fun playable state. So if you're like me and you kind of signed off Diablo 4, like, no, Blizzard's trash. Okay, yeah, they kind of are. But, you know, D4 is trash, like all these kinds of things. I would definitely say it is a good time to try and get back into, or just have a little bit of fun, like whether it's like a few days, level a character, see how you feel, and kind of just go from there. But it is quite an enjoyable time now to kind of jump into D4 and experience kind of what it has to offer. There is a ton of new content in the game. There's GR from D3. There's a lot of features from Diablo 3 that I do enjoy. There's a lot of re-rolling, a lot of there's so much loot that drops now that you don't even know what to do with it. And I love that. I love that. I get a lot of choice, and I get a lot of monsters to kill, and I get to play with those kind of things on my character. And you level up really quickly as well. I've only been playing for a couple of days. Well, I say a couple of days, but in total of like hours played, I'd say I've played like maybe like 9 hours, 8 hours, not even that. And I'm already level like 78, and I wouldn't even say that I'm doing it particularly quickly either. If you focused on that, you could probably get that to like level 100 if you're really going to focus on that. But if you're just going to enjoy your time running through the game, seeing what it has to offer, you're going to passively level up quite quickly as well and get quite a lot of gear. And that's going to make you quite strong no matter who you take. But yeah, is D4 still bad? I would say I'm not I'm not ready to write it completely off yet because I'm not level 100 and I don't know what the end game has to give. But from 0 to 78, no, it's not. I am enjoying my time. I've had a blast just running through and doing what I wanted to do from the start. And I would definitely suggest that if you do want to kind of give it a go, definitely do give it a go. If you've written it off already, fair enough. But if you want to give it a go, now is definitely a good time to jump into D4 and kind of try it out. But yeah, guys, that's me for this one. I'll see you in the next one.